So, in support of my main points, I'll say that medical research should be governed by moral concerns. No matter how much sympathy we feel for people who suffer from terminal diseases, we cannot tolerate the use of human embryos as a means to an end of the stem cell research project. This would be contradictory in that lives would be created and then destroyed in order to save another life. So there is no overall good consequence when life must always be destroyed. A quote from Joseph Farnsworth, a journalist online, he says that clones may be treated as second-class citizens with unknown psychosocial harms with impacts on family and society. The embryonic human should have the same moral status as a fetus or a child. There's no accepted point in time which the embryo suddenly becomes more human than before. Just the fact that the embryo looks different from a fetus is not enough to prove that the embryo is not a human being. It's highly inadequate to judge humanity on physical appearance. The status of a human being does not depend, the proper test of humanity should concern whether the embryo has the potential to organize itself into a living human being. Also, by keeping people alive, by creating organs through therapeutic cloning, the death rate will decline while the birth rate will stay the same. This will naturally cause increase in the overall population, and that increase in population would cause our resources to be used up faster, which will cause an increase in the amount of poverty and competition for resources. Competition for resources means that people who don't have the necessities will find these resources by any means possible, which includes activities such as crime or stealing. Also, to reinforce my point on cost, the U.S. Department of Energy Office of Science states that reproductive cloning is expensive and highly inefficient. More than 90% of cloning attempts fail to produce viable offspring. More than 100 nuclear transfer procedures could be required to produce one viable clone. So in addition to low success rates, cloned animals tend to have weaker immune functions and higher rates of infection, tumor growth, and other disorders. Japanese studies have shown that cloned mice live in poor health and die early. About a third of the cloned calves born alive have died young, and many of them were abnormally large. Many cloned animals have not lived long enough to generate good data about how clones age. So appearing healthy at a young age, unfortunately, is not a good indicator of long-term survival. So clones have been known to die mysteriously, and this trend with animals would more than likely continue with humans.